Sometimes some men find themselves in relationships where they are being manipulated by the women. Today we'll be talking about some ways through which women manipulate men and control them. If you're a woman, this video is not to spy to you, but if you're a man, you should take keen interest on how to deal with a manipulator. Please hang around, because at the end of this video I'll be telling you ways through which you can deal or handle a manipulator. What is manipulation? Manipulation means to influence or control unfairly. What are the ways through which a woman manipulates a man? The first one is emotional blackmail. A woman sometimes manipulates a man by emotional blackmail, holding on to maybe a secret you must have shared with her, or probably one of your ugly parts that is not known to any other person than herself, thereby using it as a constant threat every time you have issues, to blackmail or manipulating you into doing her bids. Another way through which a woman manipulates a man is through sex. You find yourself in a situation where a woman denies her partner or her spouse sex just because they are not in agreement, or probably because she wants something that has not yet been given to her. She thereby withholds sex, withholds intimacy and communication just to pass the message across. Another method through which a woman manipulates a man is through excessive compliment. You notice that you're probably wearing the same shirt you've had, a very good shirt you've had, or probably an haircut you've always had, and all of a sudden there comes excessive compliment. You should know that, out of the norm. I'm not saying it's bad for a woman to compliment your looks, but when it becomes excessive, you should know that they are up to something. Take note of these things, because they are really going to help. Another way through which women manipulate men is using the "if you love me" phrase. You've been in a relationship with a woman, you've shown her, proven to her how much you love her, but each time she wants you to do something for her, she keeps using the word "if you truly love me." If you truly love me, thereby guilt-tripping you to do her biddings. These are steps, these are tricks of the manipulator. Another way through a woman manipulates a man is making dramatic statements. Statements like, "This doesn't look like you at all. This is not the you I used to know. You of all people should know this." When a woman constantly uses this line, she's trying to manipulate you into doing something. Another way is through which a woman manipulates a man. Please take note of all these factors. When you find yourself in this situation, I'm going to teach you on how to handle things like this. So stay close to me. Now, another way through which a manipulator gets what they want is by always throwing jokes. They throw jokes that hurt you, and at the end of the day, when you get angered or you get agitated, they tell you, "Oh, come on, why are you putting up such an attitude? I was just joking." Sometimes they throw joke like, "Oh, I went out on a date with an old friend, we had a nice time," and they wait to see your reaction. And all of a sudden, they truly know these things would hurt you, but they just say it just to trigger your emotion. Those are attributes or characters of a manipulator. Another way through which a manipulator gets at people or their spouse is by tears. You should know that a woman's tears is just beneath her high. Most times you see in the middle of an argument, even when she's wrong or you're trying to correct her, or you find her in a situation, a compromising situation, the next thing she bursts into tears and tell you, "Oh, it's like you don't trust me. How can you do this? If you really love me, you will not suspect me." when you find this, I'm not saying that women cannot be emotional, women don't shed tears for real. But when you find yourself in a situation where you notice your partner is wrong, or you get them in a compromising situation, and all they do is burst into tears because they know men do not really stand tears. Rather than a man watch his woman cry, he would rather end the fight, end the whole scenario just to comfort her. When you find yourself in a situation where instead of a woman admitting her guilt, admitting her wrongdoing, she bursts into tears and becomes all emotional, you should know that you are dealing with a manipulator. Now, I'll be taking you on steps on how to deal with a manipulator. When you find yourself in this situation, how do you cope? How do you get out of this situation? There are ways through which you can handle a manipulator, and I'll be taking you through it. First and foremost, when you find yourself in this situation, take some time to think clearly. In the middle of this whole thing, you could just tell her, okay, give me some time to think about it. You take an hour or two, you sit, you think clearly. You could take as much time as you want, maybe a day or two. That would give you ample time to think clearly and make the right decision. Another ways through which you could deal with a manipulator: don't ever put yourself under pressure. When things like this happen, it is their tactics to guilt trip you. Learn not to be pressured. Find time, clear your head. If it requires you going to a place or taking some time off to make the right decision, so that you don't get into a situation, or you don't take a decision that would affect your career, your finance, your savings, or wreck you completely just because you want to please your partner. The next thing you also should do, or should I say another ways through which you should control or handle a manipulator, is learn to say no. So many people do not know the power